before we begin, go on over to ventobot.com/book to get your copy of the book for free. Just cover shipping. We'll send it right over to you. These are the same 4 phases we take our private clients through to generate never-ending leads to help with things like webinars, product launches, and all sorts of things like that. Now, let's jump right into how to lower webinar registration costs. So here's the thing. Most people, when they have a webinar funnel or they have something of that nature, masterclass or training, whatever you want to call it, they start and they're starting to see initial results, people registrations, maybe like I've had a couple of conversations about this today actually, around industry average between 8 to 12, maybe even 15, creeping up to 20 sometimes. And what they're doing is they're running an ad and they're relying on the ad to do a lot of the heavy lifting. So for example, it looks like this. So it goes from an ad to landing page, register, and then you have your webinar, right? So with that, you'll have a lot of people really coming in and saying, like, they're relying on the ad themselves to do a lot of heavy lifting. And the problem with that is that when you have an ad doing a lot of the heavy lifting when it comes to webinars, you rely on a lot of cold traffic. And if you think about it from this perspective, you have, for example, like if a stranger comes up to you and be like, hey, do you have 30 minutes to spend to talk really quick? You would probably say, no, I don't have 30 minutes. I don't really know you. I have somewhere to be. And that's kind of what you're asking the ad to do when you're running ads to a webinar and you're going straight to webinar that way. What we found to work the best is initially first imagine someone coming up to you on the street and saying like, hey, it looks like you're doing this. Would you like a quick way to fix that? And yes, sure, I would love a quick way to fix that. Here you go. Hey, by the way, we're actually going to this coffee shop to show you exactly how, step by step, how to do that. Do you want to come in? Oh, sure, yeah, why not? So now you've gotten that initial person to raise their hand and say, like, yes, I have this problem. And if they're like, no, I don't have time right now, now they're on your list and you can remind them. And you don't have to keep paying to reach that same person. So here is a quick, and we see someone on, Caleb. Hey, Caleb, what's up? What's going on, man? It's been a while. So for example, this is how it works. You go add to, for example, PDF. Download, right? You turn that invisible prospect visible and you say, for example, in my case, if I were to say, here's a Facebook ads checklist to turn converting ads into high converting ads, ones that may be starting raising up and creeping costs. Here's the checklist to do that. I then make the offer to say, I have this landing page. I'm going over this exact process in this checklist much more in depth in the next 20 minutes here, just in time. Let's say this is an automated webinar, just in time. Would you like to see that? Yes, perfect, great. And now I get that person registering for that webinar because it makes sense as the next congruent step. So with that said, we found this to work the best, but let me tell you something even better that works too, because now the problem here is show up rate. And a lot of people say like, oh, I don't get a lot of people showing up, a lot of drop off from that. They're actually registering now, costs are going down, but the show up rate is now falling. And this is how to do that. And this is something that we've implemented for our clients in the past before. So for example, we have this PDF checklist here, and we have maybe, let's say, a smaller video training on this PDF. Let's say I have a Facebook ads checklist, and then I have a video series, or I'm sorry, just one video that kind of goes over much more in depth, not as long as the masterclass, but a lot shorter version of this. And it's a little checkbox for a chatbot. And now here's one of the cool things that can happen. Now they've opted into your list, and they've become a subscriber to your chatbot. So what ends up happening is, yes, they get offered this and they might register, but we are so bombarded with emails that what ends up happening is they might not see the email. However, we then send them reminders, let's say 24 hours, 1 hour before, and 10 minutes before via a chatbot, and it's a confirmed event reminder. And I'll talk about this later on. I can go much more in depth into this into our group, Conversational Marketing Mastery, but essentially this increases the show up rate. So that now we're not just lowering the front end ad cost, but now we're increasing show up rate, which adding those two things together will help you to actually not just lower the ad cost, but increase the amount of profit that you see, not just top line revenue, because now you're lowering the front end, you're increasing the amount of people that go through this process, and then whatever the offers at the end, that obviously relies on you. And as long as it converts and you have proof of concept, you should be good to go. So, hey, Caleb, I'm glad you were able to join us there. If you have any questions, let me know below. Now, before I forget, if you're looking to generate never-ending leads, go on over to ventobot.com/book to get your copy of the book, the same book. We take our private clients through these 4 same phases to generate never-ending leads online. Now, if this makes sense to you and if you found this valuable, I would love for you to hit that little thumbs up and share. If not, subscribe. That way you can get more information like this so that you can grow your business online. And until next time, I'm Victor with VentoBot. See ya.